Hey, welcome back to the Ragone Show on Believe Network and the Draft Network. You know, I had to show the specialist some love this week. You know, it's been a while since we had a specialist on here. We had Andy Borregales. You know, last week was the Special Teams Player of the Week. He was 10 for 10 on extra points, and he was 10 for 11 on touchbacks. So, Andy, thank you for coming on and representing the specialist.
Man, thank you for having me. I've been watching these podcasts since they started, so.
You've been waiting your turn, huh?
Oh, yeah, just waiting patiently.
Well, your time has finally come, and, you know, I ask everybody, you know, when they come on here, I like to get to the beginning, you know, where they came from. And I already know you are from Miami, but, you know, tell me about it. Tell me about growing up down here and, you know, how you got into football and, you know, things like that.
How I got into football, honestly, it was mainly because of my brother.
Mm-hmm.
We came from Venezuela. And we went to the park close to our house, and he saw kids wearing helmets.
Yeah.
And I remember he told this story because I wasn't old enough to really remember, but told my mom that he wanted to wear a helmet. That was his main reason to play football. And then me being the little brother, I always want to just copy my brother, like do what he does. I just joined in on fun, and then here we are.
What age did you start playing football?
Started at 5 years old.
Really? Okay, okay. You know, what is it? They call your brother FIFA, huh?
Yeah, so that started in high school when he went to Booker T. They started calling him FIFA, and then they called me Lil FIFA. So
yeah.
It's kind of just stuck. Like, if anyone who went to Booker T or knows about my brother from Booker T,
yeah.
They know him as FIFA and then me as Lil FIFA.
So in Florida, you know, Miami, I guess South Florida, I noticed a lot of kids, like, they transfer high schools. What's up with that? Like, how many high schools did you go to?
So I was planning on only going to 2. COVID made that 3. But my reasoning was I wasn't getting used as much as I'd like, and knowing how game-changing a good kicker is in high school, especially in Florida, I decided to transfer out from Booker T and went to Chaminade. So,
wait, so not being used as you thought, like they weren't scoring a bunch, or like
so it was first round of playoffs. We were down by 2. It was 4th and 15 around there, and we went for it to win the game. And it was like maybe like a 40-something yard field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember halftime I was hitting from 55, so I felt good. And I remember I was right next to the head coach and told him, I was like, "Let's do it! Like I'm ready." And ended up going for it, and the receiver dropped the ball and we lost the game. So
dang, man.
Yeah.
So where did you end off at? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. So I ended off at Champagnat. It's in Hialeah. They gave me the opportunity to graduate early, which I made that decision due to COVID and everything that was going on. Just wanted to get like an extra step into the college world.
Yeah.
And was able to do that at that high school. So I made the change.
Okay. It makes a little sense, but I mean, where I'm from is like, you don't transfer high schools, but like nowadays I see kids in Florida, these kids be having like edits and stuff, like respect my decision, like I'm transferring to blah, blah, blah high school. I'm like, what in the world? They're saying like college or nothing. They're saying NFL, you're not, you know, changing different teams, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they take that stuff serious down here.
I mean, it's high school football in Florida. It gets serious down here, man. I mean,
hey, it's serious in Texas now. It's real serious.
I
in
mean,
Texas.
hey, I say Cali, Texas, and Florida are top 3 in high school football. So,
is that your order? Are you admitting that Florida's 3?
Oh no,
oh okay,
no,
okay.
that's not my order.
I thought we caught someone slipping here.
Nah, you know damn well Florida's number 1.
Shit. Well, this is actually pretty funny. I almost missed my fantasy draft pick just now, but
Ooh.
Luckily I didn't.
Ooh.
You know, I know that we're, you know, doing an interview right now, but there's some things that are more important
Oh yeah,
than being, you know,
especially week 1, Lou Headley. It's on.
You're playing Lou week
Yep.
1?
Yes, sir.
No, so
It's
I already missed like
it's
2
gonna
of
get
my
wicked.
draft picks. I can't let it happen again. Just imagine, like, let's say Cristobal, we're in a team meeting, and all of a sudden he's just like, hold up, guys, hold up. I'm up next. And he just starts looking through. He's like, all right. All right, I'm going to draft Drake London, Atlanta wide receiver. We're like, what are you doing, coach? So, oh, sorry, fantasy draft. Like, just imagine, like, just pausing in the middle of your work.
Imagine.
Yeah. It would be
that'd be historic.
Yeah.
Knowing
I
how
mean,
he
it's
is.
once a year, so I apologize, but at the same time, I don't. You know, this is
Yeah.
once a year.
Man,
There's a lot of
it's an
pride that
important
comes into
decision right
this. Yeah, it's an important decision. You don't want to be the guy that comes in last place in your fantasy.
Yep.
There's a lot of pride that comes into this.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me, you know, so your brother in high school, he's a good kicker, signed to FIU, correct?
Yep.
How was that, you know, growing up, you know, having an older brother like that, you know, doing the same thing that you do? Of course, I had older brothers that played football and stuff like that, but they weren't, you know, they didn't sign to no Division I school or stuff like that, you know, straight out of high school. So it wasn't like, you know, me trying to match them. But in your way, I guess you're competing at the same time. Like, you're trying to match him, trying to, you know, outdo him. So how was that?
Honestly, it was my motivation.
Yeah.
That pretty much motivated me ever since I was little. Just always trying to be like him, and obviously seeing him go to FIU, I was like, okay, D1, maybe I could do that too. And then kind of just once I got to that age where I could give him some competition, that's when it got fun.
Yeah.
Because that's when we both would go head to head on a nice little practice or something. So,
you know, growing up, it's always said, like, the little brothers, you know, they always end up being the best, because when you're growing up, you're competing against them. And you don't realize the age gap. You're just competing against them. You don't realize, well, hey, he's 14 and I'm only 10, and, you know, I'm trying to, for your case, outkick him or whatever.
Yeah.
For me, I would, like, always race my brothers, trying to beat them, like, stuff like that. You just don't realize that. And then once you get, you know, older, you've been used to competing against guys that are 4 years older than you.
Yeah.
So once you compete at your level, you're just that far ahead.
I mean, that honestly taught me a lot, because I know my brother, everything that he learned, he passed it down to me. Yeah. And like he always says that that I'm better than him, or that I'm gonna be better than him and all that. But I honestly, from my eyes, I'll probably never see it like that, because I always see him as my mentor, as my big brother, obviously, and as my role model. Yeah. So I base everything that I do, I base it off of him, because I mean he's been going to places that I dream of. Yeah. So he's just been kind of that, like, that light, I guess you could say. Yeah. That light 100%. At the end of the tunnel, just keeping me in line. So. Yeah. Exactly.
So in high school, you're committed to Miami. And then your brother transfers from FIU to Miami. How cool was that?
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. 'Cause I know we were talking behind the scene. I was like, oh, what if you come to Miami? Like, wish you transferred. And then it ended up happening. And he had probably his best year. So,
well, I mean, obviously. I mean, he won the Lou Groza. Like, how amazing is that?
Oh, that was awesome. Now, even in history in general, there's going to be Jose Borregales
for the rest of the time.
2020 Lou Groza winner, and I'm on my way there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that gives you something to, like, shoot for. I mean, obviously, you're always competing with your brother, you know, like, hey, man, like, you won the Lou Groza, well, I'm going to win it too, you know. It gives you goals, and to see his name every single day in practice up in the rafters, Jose Borregales, like, that's got to be, you know, motivational every time you step out there.
Oh, yeah, I see that every day, and it just, again, it motivates me, because it's like, all right, I'm trying to be next to my brother and then have my trophy next to his trophy. Yeah. So it's like, like, I'm trying to one-up him by winning 2 Lou Grozas. So I just got to focus on that. But as of right now, focusing on one game at a time. So
100%. So last year, how do you feel, you know, you did? You know, year one, you know, freshman year, obviously, you know, it's your first year. You know, you're going to have ups and downs. How do you feel you did overall?
Obviously, as a true freshman, based on other kickers, I feel like I did pretty good, but based on my standards, I could do a lot better. And I've worked on stuff that I needed to work on over the off season and everything. So I feel like I'm on my way to having a new, or not new, but a better season this year because of how I've mentally prepared myself and physically.
No, I mean, I can see, you know, the difference obviously from last year and this year, but with the difference, I think, and why I see it is because all the work that's been done during the off season. You know, a lot of people might not know this, but the specialists, y'all would meet up every single week, you know, during the summer and during the spring to kick together, like every single week. And I think that, you know, obviously it's showing, you know, you had a great, you know, first game. You know, we'll see obviously where it goes from there. But even during fall camp, you know, the way you've been looking looks good. And I guess the camaraderie of the whole specialist as a whole has gotten better because of that.
Yeah, I mean, we emphasize chemistry in the special teams unit because at the end of the day, I depend on Mason or Clay or Will and Lou to hold for me.
Yeah.
Like for me to make a kick.
Yeah.
So I have to put pretty much all my trust into them for me to be able to make a kick. So it really comes down to having that chemistry in us and just becoming becoming one family. You know, so we're really big on that, and we've been working on it since. I mean, they've been working. I mean, I know Lou's been working on it since before I got here.
Yeah.
And then just every year it just gets better and better and better.
You know, people might not know this, but I'm an honorary specialist. I hang out with these guys all the time. Yep. You know, all the times they go out to eat, you know, I'm there. Whenever y'all would go kick during the summers, like,
you're there.
Guess who shows up? You know, I'm shagging balls out there, like whatever y'all need. Like,
I remember the one time you came out in a chair and just sat down.
Oh yeah, I literally just came out there and what's his name? Napper was like snapping the ball. He needed someone to catch it. You were kicking. Lou was punting. And I brought a little lawn chair out there and I was like, all right, go ahead and just snap it to me. I'm just relaxing outside, just catching a ball, sitting in a lawn chair. But no, I mean, it's fun being around y'all. I love, you know, the camaraderie around there. It was fun to be a part of that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we just like to have fun while also working hard at the same time.
Exactly. And I love that. I love being around that energy, you know, it feeds off to other people, you know?
I mean, that's another big thing another thing we're big on. Like just no negativity. Because at the end of the day, being negative isn't going to get you anywhere.
Exactly.
Just have a neutral mindset. Just
thinking neutral. Yeah, so what now?
So what now?
Amen. Amen. So, you know, after last year, your development for year 2, what are your goals for this season?
Goals for this season, obviously, end up being better than last year.
Yeah.
And obviously the winning the Lou Groves Award and being an All-American this year.
Yeah.
But I'm more focused on just the team.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, as long as the team does good, I'll do good because it just correlates.
Yeah, vice versa. Amen.
And we look good this year, so I'm it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, you're excited. Yeah, excited for it.
I'm at loss for words because I just don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man. I mean, we got a big season ahead of us. You know, it's only week 2 about to happen. You know, I'm excited for everything that's to come. You know, I asked this last time to Caleb and to Mitch, but, you know, it's something I like to ask a lot is, you know, what makes you you? You know, what drives you? What motivates you?
What drives me, honestly, it's just my parents. I mean, like they've worked so hard just getting me to where I am today. Like just kicking cams and all the money they had to put into just plane rides and plus the camps. Like kicking cams aren't cheap.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, they're expensive and my parents managed to find a way to help me go to them and get my name out there, which is, and then it all pays off into having a full scholarship at a top tier university and not having to pay a dime. So it really pushes me to go even harder, knowing that they had to work hard for me to be successful. So I just want to repay them in any way possible.
that right there, I can relate to that a lot. I feel, personally, a part of me, what motivates me is the same thing. Parents doing, so much, for my family. My dad actually has a saying, and it's whatever it takes.
Yep.
Like you know, you could say bills, for instance, like, man, these bills are too much, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, what are you going to do about it? Whatever it takes.
Yep.
Hey, kids got to go to college. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Stuff like that. You got to do whatever it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
And I've, put that in my life as well. I ended up getting, tattooed on me. I know you got a lot of, it's ink on you now. You got your legs, calf, arm. Yeah.
Yep.
But no, I mean, that's good, man. I can relate to that. I like that. And I think family's, always the best driving factor. When you're having a hard day, it makes you push harder because the ones you love.
Yep.
So everything I like to do at the end of every episode, I like to ask for you to basically give someone a piece of advice. It could be about anything, just anybody out there. What would you say to them?
I'm gonna look at the camera for this. One thing that I would just want everyone to know, just believe in yourself. Don't let other people influence like your decisions, your actions or anything. Cause at the end of the day, someone else's opinions shouldn't affect how you feel, how your day goes or anything. So just kind of just focus on yourself. And as long as you do that, everyone around you is going to just feel that positive energy that you put out. So that's really a big thing I'm on. And also just, if you focus on yourself, mental health is going to be good. That's another thing I'm big on, and physical health and everything that comes with just focusing on yourself and not putting focus on unnecessary things around you. So
I like that. If you don't mind, can you go in, a little deeper on that? You said one thing you're big on is mental health. That's something that, I've been working on myself, quite, hard lately. Cause I mean, that's a big, big thing and people don't talk about that as much. And I feel like it should. So if you could, dive a little deeper into that.
So I'm kind of like open to talk about it now, but, I still do, but kind of able to manage it and have learned ways to just keep being positive. But I do suffer with depression. And some days, you get those days where you just want to just not talk to anyone, just sit in the dark, just not do anything pretty much.
Yeah.
But that's when my motivation comes in and takes over. Cause at the end of the day, sitting in a dark room crying or something isn't going to help me get to my goal or help me, get generational wealth.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you just have to push yourself. And I know it's not easy for everyone to like, everyone deals with it different types of ways.
Yeah.
And, it's whenever I like have a friend or something that they come to me like, oh, like my mental health isn't good. Like I just tell them like, focus on yourself. I mean, it's not going to be easy. Obviously there's going to be days where like you just don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
But that's when you have to think about the ones around you, the ones who actually love you, care about you and everything. So that's what I've been really working on ever since I started having depression and stuff like that. So, that's pretty much all I can say.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing that. And I feel, 100%. I mean, I promise, I've felt that same way so many times. There's been days where I've just woken up and like, you just feel that pain like inside where you just don't even want to get out of bed. You don't want to do anything. And you got to push forward, because, my dad has this thing he always told me as a kid, and it took me a real long time to really like grasp it and understand it. But he always told me life ain't fair.
Yep.
It isn't.
It isn't.
Life is not fair.
Never is, never will. Exactly.
And you're going to have those days where life is just beating you down and you feel like, man, like I just want to, like you said, sit here in this dark room and just cry. But like, what good is that going to do? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so you do have to find that motivation and that inner drive to push you through that. And man, you know it. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. And it's something I've been battling with, man, I had a real hard, honestly, past 2.5 years. Yeah. I mean, since COVID hit, I mean, it has been a real long, hard journey. Yeah. And you have your ups and downs. And, you know, for me, the scariest part was those ups when you feel the best, right? Because
that's when you know
exactly
that big,
because what goes up must come down. And it's like, you get that feeling of, man, I feel so good right now. But inside, you know, that anxiety, that depression that has, you know, been there before, it's like creeping inside and it's telling you like, it's not going to last. Yeah. It's not going to last. Like, just be ready. Like, it's about to go down, and it ruins the highs for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's something that it's hard to battle against, and it's hard to, you know, appreciate the highs, you know, cause you know a low is coming. Yep. But one thing that it's taught me, and I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, but, you know, I try and just stay like this. I try and just stay level headed. You may not always see me like during practice be like all smiley, you know, and jumpy, or you might not see me down either. You might just see me just straight, you know, level. Every single day, I just try and be the same guy every day. Yep. That way, you know, I'm not, you know, my emotions aren't going up and down every day, because I would hate to be that guy that's, you know, so happy one day and then you see me the next day and I'm just like, you could obviously tell something's wrong with this guy. Just, I don't want to be that, because like we talked about, energy spreads. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want your energy to affect other people. Yeah. I'm not saying like, there's obviously people you can talk to and stuff like that, but I'm saying like, you know, around the team and at practice, like you don't want that to affect the team. So you just try and keep it like this for, you know, for those hours that you're in the building. And then once you get out, you know, you're able to
decompress.
Decompress, let yourself feel what you need to feel and things like that. And if you got someone to talk to, you know, you talk to them, you know. And for people out there who are listening to this that battle those things, I mean, it's real things, like real feelings. They're not something to be ashamed of. You know, that's why, you know, I asked you to, you know, speak on it more, because a lot of people, especially men, guys, you know, they're afraid to talk about it because, you know, the stigma around it, like, oh, you know, you're soft.
Men gotta be hard.
Yeah, men gotta be so tough. Like, it's hard to be like that, man. Because, you know, you have all these emotions, you feel all this stuff. So for everybody out there, I mean, if you are feeling this type of way, like, it's okay. It's okay, and it's understandable. There's others that feel the exact same way as you, and it's okay to reach out to people and go speak to people about it. You know, sometimes all you need is an ear to listen. You know,
at the end of the day, the more you bottle it up, it's bound to explode. Like get a Sprite or Coca-Cola bottle and then just start filling it every day with like gas. It's gonna explode one day. And that's how it is with your emotions. So sometimes you just gotta let go so that bottle doesn't explode.
You know, it's actually crazy that we talked about this. Like yesterday, I had a conversation with somebody and they just straight up asked me, like, how you doing? Like, what's been going on with you? Like, they just noticed, you know, something. And like I said, I'm just like this, but this person, they really, like, they know me. Yeah. You know, they know me. So just the tiniest thing, they can see something. When you say things like you bottle it up and then it'll explode. Yep. When he asked me that, after I was done talking, he goes, you realize you just talked 18 minutes straight, right? He's like, I haven't said one word in 18 minutes. He's like, you can't let yourself just bottle up like that. Yep. He's like, you got to be able to speak. You got to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, that's something that you don't really realize, because if you're just holding everything in and then you let it out, like you're just talking to talk. Like you're talking what you feel, and you never realize how long you actually talk. And then at the end of the day, in the moment, you might feel like anxious and stuff, but after you say it, like,
it's like a relief.
It's like a reset. I guess you could say so.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I encourage people to do,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm glad that we were able to speak on that because some people obviously need to hear it. And I've talked about, you know,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, mental health on the show before, but it's never too much to talk about it again because it's something that's very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate you, Andy, for coming on.
Sure, thank
and
you.
I appreciate y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank y'all.